Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast with Benji Naesen for the preview of the World Championships individual time trial, men and women. If you're listening on podcast players, there'll be separate YouTube videos. I've had some camera issues. Don't even talk to me about it if you're watching on YouTube. We're a bit delayed on this, I'll acknowledge, because I had to go to Barcelona to pick up our dog. He just flew over from Australia, and a bit of a bureaucratic nightmare. But we're getting to it on our Friday night. Thanks to Benji for giving up his time. But this is near him, this course. Finishes in Bruges. It's a 43-kilometre flat TT from the men from Nokkerheist to Bruges. It is pancake flat, 22 metres of elevation gain in those 43 Ks. In terms of turns, there's like 8 on the course. Yeah, it's crazy, just long straightaways. But what about the wind, Benji? And I want you to explain, as a local of this region, is the wind constant, or can it be actually unfair in that it could change throughout the actual 3 hours they set off?
Well, to be fairly honest, I haven't looked in-depthly on whether the weather will change during the parkour and during the ride, but I do know that the wind on Sunday won't be too extreme. I think 11 km an hour was what I read most recently, like an hour ago, as the proclaimed wind speeds at that point. But yeah, I actually went to school in Bruges, so good extra hint of information that has no influence at all on this race at all, but pretty straightforward parkour. Most of it is done next to like a bit of a waterway, a bit of a channel, and you can get up to big speeds there because you don't get into corners too much. I think for the men's scores, it goes to basically from Knokkehuis through Dutzele to Damme and then to Bruges. And in Dutzele, they'll pass twice because they go through it and then back and then go to the finish line. So if you're willing to take a look at the parkour, that seems to be the place where you can watch the riders pass twice, which is going to be probably a better thing than seeing them pass once.
And the finish in Bruges, from what I can see, is on main roads, which should be pretty straightforward as well. And if you don't like Bruges, it's a fairy tale fucking city. Benji won't get that one, I don't think. But before we dive into the World Champs preview in detail, mention our show partner, L'Ecole, who produce performance cycling apparel and also sponsor Drops L'Ecole. Their rider, Joss Loudon, will actually be riding the TT for Great Britain at the World Championships. She's definitely one to watch out for a top result. So thanks to L'Ecole for supporting our podcast, and as well watch Joss Loudon. Keep an eye out for her in the World Championships Women's ITT. Yeah, I love Bruges. I went on a 5-day art exhibition looking at art in the Flemish region back in 2015, which always is a bit peculiar to Benji. But the start list is pretty stacked, actually. Well, Wout van Aert, Ganna, Evenepoel, Stefan Kung, Cavagna, Bissiger. Who am I missing? Ethan Hayter, Remco Evenepoel, who came third at the European Championships ITT. No Rowan Dennis, I don't believe. So the European Champs is a pretty good indication of, well, it's the biggest lead-up race where we've had all these big names. That was 22.5 Ks, about half the distance. Kung won that by 8 seconds on Ganna, 15 on Evenepoel, but there was no Wout van Aert there. Do you think this is all between those four favourites, Benji? Ganna, Kung, Evenepoel, Wout van Aert. They're all 260, 325, 375, 450 in the betting, and then no one else is given a chance. Do you see any chance for long shots like a Feeney or Sobrero to be getting a top 3 or 4 here?
Well, in all honesty, I think that Sobrero will have a hard time doing that because I think that he's not confirmed to go from the start list I have ahead of me. When it comes to Ganna, of course, being the lead for Italy, he's most likely the favorite on paper for many people. But I feel like we had this award show at the end of last year where we spoke about who is the best time trialist and so forth. It was mainly Ganna if we looked at this type of parkour. And I feel like this year, if we would have that award show right now, based on the season so far, when it comes to time trialists, I cannot tell you yet who is the best time trialist in the world this year. Because it's been so, this person this time around, this person this time around, that it's difficult to proclaim that one rider is better in total than the others. And yeah, it does seem like those riders that you mentioned are going to be the favorite ones. I see Ganna doing very well. I see an Evenepoel doing relatively well. of an odd, just like Lacia could be a very good rider on this parkour. But then you've got people that are likely going to be doing pretty well as well in my expectations. Like, I say this all the time when I see a time trial recently that Asgreen could top 10 this race. Cavagna will most likely do well. We always forget Cavagna in time trials. We won't forget him this time to mention him, but I just don't see them beating the big guns per se. And Kung was really impressive in the European Championships. And if you can pull that story true to this parkour, 43 kilometers, which is longer, which in my eyes, Kung was always the kind of rider that did well at 20, 25 kilometers and in prologues as well. But when it comes to the very long time trials, I'm a bit scared for that. And I think that again, I might be better off on a very long time trial or an Evenepoel, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not sure about Remco personally on a extremely long 43 kilometer time trial. I do remember the one in 19, where he got second, was also a pretty long one when Dennis dominated. But in general, there's a few riders that I would indeed not look after too much for this, which is a Pogacar for Slovenia. Or are you surprised that Pogi's going to this one and not Roglic?
Yeah, but there's some weird stuff going on with the Slovenian national team stuff. Remember, there's the coach who's the Hauptmann, who's the UAE GS, and he is not doing that anymore for Slovenia, and no one knows why. And I've obviously got a conspiracy theory about it, that it's related to Roglic having back problems in their road race in Tokyo, and then not being able to help Pogacar, and then being able to put 1:05 into the best time trials a couple of days later. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just stirring the pot. But yeah, I don't really see a chance for like the likes of Bissiger, Benji. On a longer TT, me and you love him in 10 to 15 kilometers, but I don't like him for this. And you mentioned long TT. We don't have much data on people doing long TTs. We don't see a 43K TT in road races or stage races very often. You know where we do see long TTs and flat ones in Belgium pretty often? Belgian National Championships. 2019 National Championships won by...
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, 2019 from Middelkerke to Middelkerke. I presume it's pretty flat.
Yeah, it is.
Wout van Aert smoked Lampaert and Evenepoel 32 and 39 seconds into them in 2019. In 2020, it was a 42-kilometer time trial from Coxeira to Coxeira. He put 30 seconds into still trying at TT Campenaerts, now classic specialist Campenaerts. And yeah, there was no Evenepoel or Lampaert there. So Wout van Aert, he's done in his career 5 TTs over 32 kilometers, and one in 2017 doesn't count because he was still like doing that CX stuff, whatever that is. And then the TT in the Olympics. What about that, Benji? That's the other one this year, apart from the European Championships, the Olympics TT. How much stock do you put in that? Given it's in Tokyo, it's humid, it's straight after the tour, it had like 700 meters of climbing, but it is a long TT.
Personally, significantly less than the European Championships, because you said, like, yeah, the humidity and so forth, but it's also a very different parkour. It's the hills that mattered a lot on that parkour. That's why Roglic was able to take time on the climbs a lot. He obviously lost a bit towards the heavier people like Asgreen on the descents himself, not extreme at all. But we saw that in the way that Asgreen was passing him in the descents, for example. Here you don't have that. Here it's basically pancake flat. Like, you're going to find a bit of rubble along the side, and that's going to be the biggest altitude meter of the entire parkour. That's what West Flanders is like in this region, at least. And I feel like we will see that noticeably, that this is going to be a winner that is just specified for this type of flat parkours. And that's why I'm not looking at Tokyo as much as I do for the European champs, because the European champs was very low when it comes to altitude meters as well. I think it was 60 in total among that parkour of 17-ish kilometers. So certainly fits more to this grading. Than what I'm curious about is whether Kung can keep that up and whether he can prove on this parkour on a longer time trial that he can do it as well. And is there a reason that we don't have Dennis here? Because like Dumoulin, we know that he was injured, unfortunately, and his entire season is gone after that. Was it a car accident? Like he got hit by a car or something?
At a T intersection, he broke his wrist. So Dumo's out, which is a shame. I think he would have been He would have been a decent
Top
shout
7.
for a top 5 lock, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe behind Lawson Craddock, of course. But yeah, no, I can't see any Australia on the start list. So maybe that's just a PTS thing. Maybe I'm missing something. But I really remember seeing Dennis saying he's not doing World Championships, and he's going to Jumbo Visma next year. That's been announced. But anyway, back to the main 4 guys. So Wout van Aert's shape this year, 46 race days, which isn't that much, to be honest, compared to some of the other guys. But he's just on the Tour of Britain, which he had a bit of a layoff after Tokyo. So after Tokyo, took 6 weeks off, then Tour of Britain, and he won that, looking in good shape. At the Tour de France, he won the 31-kilometre final time trial pretty convincingly. He got beaten in the Stage 5 TT, but apparently he was a bit undercooked. Other TTs this year, he won the San Benedetto del Tronto 10K Classic TT at Tirreno ahead of Ghana, I believe. But that's, as I said, only 10K. So I think Wout van Aert podium lock, really. But I don't think he should be favourite. I still think, I don't know, Ghana, I think, is being slept on, Benji. I think Ghana, I was looking through his results in TTs over 30Ks, and I was looking at how hilly the ones he's had to do, and finally he's got a 43K one. He got the home-cooked Imola TT last year, which he won. But yeah, where do you see Ghana's shape? 63 race days so far this year, not been as dominant either. Are you concerned that he's not at that top level? Because I actually think his TT Olympics was good for how much climbing there was there.
Yes, certainly. We looked at the Olympics and we thought, okay, this is a good performance based on the climbing we had. And we even said afterwards, yeah, this is a bit above what we expected for Ghana. We were thinking he might not even top 5, that he would be 6th or 7th or 8th in that parkour. And he was able to get that top 5, and that was a significant performance. And let's be real, he was 2nd at the European Championships. That's not a shit result. And we've seen recently, or at least I've seen that based on the Giro, for example, that in the races before the Giro, in that, was it an ITT in Romandy or something beforehand, where he actually didn't perform.
Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of something else. It was Romandy.
Yes. Okay. When it comes to Romandy, his performance wasn't that great in the time trials. And the question then is, does he just perhaps save some energy, or not saving energy, but perhaps he doesn't dive into corners at 120% like he would do at the World Championships, because he wants to make sure he's not injured when he arrives at the World Championships? Or is that a conspiracy theory because the European Championships, he dove into the corners like crazy in the last kilometer?
What's the point in winning the European Championships jersey when you're going to wear the rainbow bands in the next year? It's greedy. So that's probably what Filippo Ganna's thinking.
Ask Colbrelli, what's the point of winning the Italian Championships when you want to wear the bloody European ones instead?
Well, the European ones, when he's going to wear the World Championships, called by the way it's going. I think European Championships, I'm reluctant to put too much stock into it. Yes, I think Kung is, looking really, really good in the TT, but I'm wary that this is not a major goal for guys. It's like Burgos before Vuelta a España. It's like Tour of the Alps before the Giro. Simon Yates went into favourite for the Giro. Carthy went into 3rd favourite for the Vuelta because of those. They're not the main focus of these guys, just like Benji said with Romney for Ghana. So it's all about world champs. But I don't know. I don't know about Ghana's shape. He hasn't looked as dominant as last year, particularly in that Tirreno Adriatico one where he might have been sick. But Stefan Kung, yeah, you said, Benji, you think he's better on the 20 to 25K one. I'm tended to agree, but we haven't really seen – he hasn't had good results, frankly, in over 40-kilometre TTs in the past. But that might have been the fact that his equipment's not been good. Maybe FDJ have improved it. What about Evenepoel, though? He's the dark horse for me. Evenepoel, European champs, 22Ks flat. What did he lose by? 15 seconds or something to Stefan Kung, 7 seconds behind Ghana. He DNS Benelux halfway through with sickness the week before, and then comes back and he's doing crazy numbers. He's putting his power data up on Strava now, I think, probably because he's pretty proud of it, rightly so. He's doing insane numbers. So I don't expect a huge drop-off in his power either from 25 minutes out to 50 minutes. That's what I think his advantage is here on these guys. He's got the 25 watt buff because he's in Belgium. Ganna's no longer in Italy. How realistic do you think Evenepoel is right to be ahead of Wout van Aert in the betting, Benji? He's third favourite right now.
I think there's some time trial recency bias in that aspect, because Wout van Aert was not at the European Championships. That's taken into account. That the Tour of Britain, there was a team time trial, but no individual time trial to boost up his numbers in the betting. And as a consequence, Remco has better odds because he has a best recent performance. And it's been a while since the Tour de France ITTs. And because of that, I think there's recency bias in that. Nonetheless, I think that I dare to put them relatively close to each other. The only difference that I have is that I think the time trial might be a bigger goal for Remco than it is for Wout van Aert, because I think van Aert is way more focused on the road race here, and perhaps less on the time trial. But nonetheless, he's certainly going to try and go for goal because he's selected, and Belgians always right when they're selected. Come on.
Always. Except for maybe Remco
don't.
at the Olympics, or maybe even the road race if he wins the TT. But some head-to-heads that I've looked at that are interesting. An interesting one, Benji, is Rafael Rice, $1.72 against Ethan Hayter, who's $2. Now, I might have just been bet down a bit on Ethan Hayter. But so Ethan Hayter's, I think, he comes second at Tour of Britain, big talent, British talent on Ineos. Rafael Rice, a lot of people think, who's Rafael Rice? He is a Uruguayan who won the Volta of Portugal this year. And no, he didn't. Did he win it? No, he was going to win it. He crashed. I did a thing on it.
Are you sure he's Uruguayan?
Rafael Rice? No, I'm not sure.
I think you're talking about the Mauricio guy.
Oh, geez. I'm talking about Moreira. I've conflated the two.
F in the chat for the discussion.
So Rice is Portuguese. I got confused. It's his teammate on a Fapel who's Uruguayan. Anyway, at Volta of Portugal, he won the prologue. He won the final TT, which is 20 Ks long. But I think Moreira was going to beat him in the TT, which is why I got confused.
Yeah, but to be honest, in that time trial, there was literally a guy that jumped in front of Rice, waving his hands, trying to crash him. So I don't know, man.
No, that was in front of Amaro Antunes. So Moreira
really?
crashed. Yeah,
okay.
Moreira crashed, and then a guy jumped in front of Antunes, the W52 bomber guy, and tried to crash him out. So
just Volta of Portugal things.
Yeah, it's chaotic. Anyway, Rice ahead of Hayter, the interesting one to watch. Conti's on a Conti team against Ethan Hayter. Asgreen $1.44 against Cavagna. I think Cavagna is a little bit underrated there, frankly, as well as Tadej Pogacar $1.28 against Mikhail Kwiatkowski. I think Poggi should be.
What do you think about Carlos Rodriguez, knowing this is probably not his goal of the season, and he's selected for both the ITT and the road race, I think, at the age of 20. That's insane. But he's got the talent, but it's still insane, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm just struggling to get excited about anyone. I know this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, I don't care about anyone else apart from the top 5 guys, and then someone will come top 5 and I'll look like an idiot. It happens every TT, and these world champs.
Lawson Craddock, mate, it's coming.
Yeah, Lawson Craddock, love it. Okay, going back to the favourites, Benji, putting you on the spot. What's your top 3 for this World Championships TT?
My top 3 is, Jesus Christ, it's heresy if I don't say a Belgian for first. I'm going to go for Ganna winning. Second, Remco Evenepoel, and third, Wout van Aert.
Evenepoel over Wout van Aert?
Yeah.
More on an effort thing.
I think that longer time trials are very good for Remco because he can sustain a very high wattage for a very long time. And as a consequence, the longer time trials are the ones I would put him above Wout van Aert, despite, they're both better on a slightly hilly parkour, I think, personally. But I don't know. I just feel like Remco will beat van Aert here. It could be wrong. I don't really. In the end, doesn't matter what I think.
Yeah, I want to go with Ganna. I think Ganna is the best on this course. Shape at the European Championships. I think he's tricking me. He's probably tricking me. I'm going to go with Ganna, Wout van Aert, Remco Evenepoel, 1, 2, 3. And Affini is someone who I think, Affini, he's better at the short ones, isn't he, Benji?
Well, to be honest, I would dare to say that his prologues are better as short-sized ones, but I also vaguely remember that his European Championships in 2019, didn't he get like a good result then? Let me take a quick look while I'm brabbling on. And I see a result that is third, which was a 22-kilometer time trial. Yes, indeed. So it's not really that long. So I don't know. I can't tell you what he does on very long time trials because he hasn't done it properly before. So I would dare to say no, that it is not his favorite.
I'd love to see what Jos van Enden can do. I mean, he won Chrono des Nations ahead of Ghana in a very long TT only 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago. But I think that time is long gone.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned this
I've
result
mentioned
like
that
20
result a
times
thousand
before.
times, yeah. And when Roglic beat people at Chrono des Nations, I was like, oh, look at that in 2017.
99% of the people don't know what that race is.
Doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. Bevan isn't on the start list for New Zealand, which is somewhat surprising. Maybe that's just a PCS thing. Got Scully there for New Zealand. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, Benji, because honestly, these guys are all very close. Even Wout van Aert Kung, Ghana, and Evenepoel, if he carries the form he's had, they are very close. And if you have a flat like Ghana did in the Giro last TT, if you just have a little off day, if you didn't sleep well the night before, if even if one of them gets bad or preferable wind conditions, or if you draft a guy ahead of you a little bit more, that can be the difference, because these guys, I think, are quite close, with Ghana not looking as dominant as he was previously. But yeah, that's our preview of the men's World Championships TT. It's pretty straightforward, and it's just going to be a Watts test. Big Watts Fest from Nockerheist to Barugga. We hope you enjoyed this preview. Let us know who your podium picks are, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.